You're about to overpay for tires by 200 bucks. And the salesman? He's counting on it. Look at this. A Uni-Royal set runs you about $280. The Michelin set right beside it, same rack, over 500. Here's the kicker. The rubber comes out of plants the same company owns. The name on the sidewall? That's the only thing that's different. 7 tire brands sit on the bottom shelf, and the salesman keeps pointing you at the logo you already know. But most of these, they're quietly built or owned by the giants, charging you double for the badge. Stick around for all 7, plus the 4 things you can read off any sidewall to tell a real bargain from a cheap mistake. Number 1, the Uni-Royal. The name sounds dated, right? Like something off a tire from 1980. So people assume it's a dead brand, just coasting on an old reputation. Nope, the opposite is true. In North America, Uni-Royal is owned outright by Michelin, built in Michelin's own American plants. They keep the brand alive to compete on price without dropping the Michelin name into the budget aisle. Look at the receipts. The Tiger Paw Touring carries up to a 75,000-mile warranty, and it sells around 90 bucks in a common sedan size. But here's where it shows its parent, the Wet. The Rain Sport line lands about 14% under the Goodyear it competes with and matches it in the rain. Think about that. Michelin Wet Grip, a Michelin-owned factory, and a price that never once mentions Michelin. And if a Michelin-owned brand hiding in plain sight surprises you, the next one is sitting on Porsches. Number 2, Nexen. Everybody writes Nexen off as a cheap Korean no-name, but that ignores who drives on them straight from the factory. These guys have been making tires since 1942, and Nexen is approved original equipment for Porsche, Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Hyundai, and Kia. More than 80 vehicle models. Porsche signed off on it for the Macan and the Cayenne. Now think about that. Porsche doesn't gamble its handling on a tire that can't hold up. So a brand that clears that bar and still sells cheap, it's doing something the others aren't. The N-Fair line brings real summer grip for way under the German competition. You're paying for a tire a Porsche engineer already trusted, minus the markup that usually rides along with it. Hold that thought, because the next brand is one you've walked past 100 times without ever knowing who builds it. Real quick though, here's how this channel runs. Nobody in the tire industry pays us a cent. No deals, no sponsorships. A brand only makes this list if it clears the same 4 checks. And those 4 checks, they're what stop a salesman from talking you into the wrong set. 1, the treadwear number molded into the sidewall. 300 is normal life. 500 and up lasts long. Anything near 200 wears out fast. 2, the speed and load rating after the size. The load figure has to meet or beat the number on your door jamb sticker, or you've got a safety issue, not a saving. 3, the company behind the label. A Michelin, Continental, Goodyear, or Hankook parent means real engineering at a discount. No traceable owner? Slow down. 4, the DOT date code. 4 digits for the week and year it was made. 3-year-old stock has been aging in a warehouse, and rubber breaks down just sitting still. Walk through those 4, and most of the price gap to a premium tire stops making any sense. Okay, on with the list. Number 3, Laufen. The name reads foreign and forgettable, so shoppers just reach right past it, and that's a mistake. Laufen is the budget label of Hankook, the 7th biggest tire maker anywhere, a factory supplier to BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. Hankook started it back in 2014, using the Lexus idea in reverse. The tires, built in the same Hankook factories as the pricier lines. Here's the math. A Laufen X fit in a typical SUV size sits around $164. The Hankook one shelf up, same plant, same maker, asks about $203. That's roughly $160 saved on a set of 4. For Hankook rubber, under a quieter name. Now the next one carries the opposite problem, a reputation so bad, people miss how good the actual tire is. Number 4, Kumho. Kumho's cheap reputation, it traces back to the tires bolted on at the factory, built down to the car maker's budget, not the spec Kumho actually sells in the store. But here's the thing, Kumho, founded in 1960, now the 9th largest tire maker worldwide, supplies original equipment to BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. The Exta line delivers serious grip for far less than Michelin asks. And in 2024, it topped summer tire tests at Europe's ADAC and Autobuild. ahead of names costing a third more. And if you want the Kumho most people overlook, that's the Krugen line. Covers SUVs and trucks with the same OE engineering. Often $40 to $50 per tire under the Michelin or Continental equivalent. BMW grade engineering, with the premium badge stripped right off the price. The next brand pulls the same trick, except its parent is German, and almost nobody says it out loud. Number 5, General Tire. General reads like a filler brand, but it belongs to Continental, the German engineering heavyweight. It was born in Akron, Ohio, back in 1915. Then it became Continental's value tier in the late 80s. Running on what the trade calls trickle-down Continental technology. Compounds proven in the flagship tires that move into General once the costly development is already paid off. The Altimax RT45 comes with a 75,000-mile warranty, and against the Continental True Contact it shares roots with, it's around $86 versus $98 in a sedan size. And that gap only grows on the larger fitments. So you get Continental engineering for the price of a brand most people just overlook. The next name, it's one your grandfather trusted, and a giant just quietly bought it. Number 6, Cooper. Cooper is the name your grandfather swore by. And younger drivers, they totally miss that. It's one of the smartest buys out there. Founded in Akron in 1914, it spent a century building honest tires at fair money. Then, in 2021, Goodyear paid $2.5 billion to own it. And then, this is the good part, they kept it running as its own value brand, instead of erasing it. So you get Goodyear scale and factories behind a tire priced like the independent it used to be. Here's the comparison. A Goodyear Assurance in a compact size runs about $127. The nearest Cooper? About $104. And across the range, Cooper runs 15 to 25% cheaper for the exact same job. Much of it's still built in American plants. It's the tire the shop owner quietly puts on his own truck. Now the last brand. This is the one exception on this list, and I'm gonna be honest with you about why. Number 7, Salin. This one breaks the pattern. And I'll level with you, because being straight is how you tell a gold mine from a trap. There's no Michelin or Continental behind Salin. It's an independent maker, just over 20 years old. And that thinner pedigree, it's real. You'll see owners report some models going noisy or wearing quicker toward the end. And honestly, that's the deal you're accepting. But here's the other side. Salin has spent 2 decades pouring money into research and modern compounds, pricing around 2/3 of premium while performing better than the doubters expect. The Atrezzo line starts near $50 a tire with a 40,000-mile warranty. That's under half a premium price. And the TerraMax range? It's won over off-road drivers who expected junk and found real traction. So Salin is the call when you'd rather swap a $50 tire a little early than hand over $150 for a name. A calculated trade, not a gamble. And once you see what ties all 7 of these together, you'll never read a sidewall the same way again. Before we tie this all together, one bonus pick, because this list wouldn't be honest without it. Number 8, Toyo. Most drivers just file Toyo under cheap and move on. And that misses what the name actually carries. Toyo has built tires in Japan since 1945, and it earns its reputation the hard way. On the track, the Proxys line runs in real motorsport and street performance use, and the open country range, it's become a default for truck and SUV owners who tow and go off-road. So this isn't some giant's hand-me-down, it's an independent, one that competes on engineering instead of price alone. Here's the proof. The open country AT3 lands well under a comparable BF Goodrich or Michelin all-terrain, and it matches the tread life. Plus it carries up to a 65,000-mile warranty on a tire built to be driven hard. Toyo is the pick when you want a name that proves itself in competition without charging you for the trophy.